Hi everyone, I'm John Johnson, coming to you live from a Scandinavian village in 900 AD. Today we're going to be interviewing some Vikings. Were they ruthless killers or peaceful farmers? Today we're going to find out. For today, our first interviewer will be Halfdan. Now, Halfdan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Halfton. I'm a Viking, and I'm a farmer.
Very nice. So what kind of things do you grow on your farm?
I grow all sorts of crops like barley, wheat, rye, oats, that sort of thing. I also have animals.
What kind of animals do you have?
I just have some cattle and pigs. Other farmers have goats, sheep, cattle, pigs, chickens, horses, even ducks. You name it.
So, what do you do with the cattle in the winter?
Scandinavian winters are harsh, so we bring them indoors. Forget the elephant in a room. We got cows.
So, do you do all the work on the farm or do you have help?
I have plenty of help. My wife Rita does most of the vegetable work, and the kids have been working since they could stand, but our slave does the most stuff for us.
Alright, very good talking to you. All right, and for our next interview, we're going to be interviewing Frida. Frida, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, I'm just a typical Viking housewife. It's not a huge thing.
Nice. So, what kind of house do you live in?
A long house. It's not too shabby.
That's good. What kind of jobs do you do around the house?
Well, I do all the housework, like spinning and making clothes, cooking, cleaning, gardening, raising the kids, milking the animals, etc.
All right. So, we all know that in the past, most women have had really very little power in society. Does this apply to you also?
Well, comparatively, no. We have some power. I must take over my husband's work as well, if he as my own, if he is away hunting, fighting, trading, whatever. And so, because of our huge job, we're well respected and valuable. We can sell land, sell our own handicrafts, and even divorce our husbands. Some women participated in trade.
Nice. Some women were buried with weapons, leading us to believe women may have fought alongside their husbands. Is this true?
Possibly.
Nice. So, what age are people considered adults in society?
Legally at 16, Bo and Liv are halfway there. You would be considered an adult no matter when you got married, though. Uh, which could be as young as 12 or as old as 20.
Wow, 12. That's young. So, how do Viking marriages work?
The groom's family pays a bride price to the other family, and the bride's father pays a dowry. Marriages were better for the families than the bride and groom themselves.
Nice. And what about life expectancy for the typical Viking?
Well, if you could live past being born and you lived a pretty safe life, then probably 50. Lots of people die before then, though, and very few live to see 60.
All right. All right. And for our next interview, we're going to be interviewing Halfdan and Frida's kids. Or kid. One of them wouldn't cooperate. So, for the one that we do have, do you go to school at all?
Never heard of it. My mom teaches me things.
Oh, like what?
Well, she taught me how to take care of my doll like it was a child and how to help out around the farm.
Nice. And what kind of toys do you play with, if at all?
Well, I have a bunch of toys, but my doll and my spinner are my favorite.
Nice. And since your brother wasn't cooperating, why don't you tell us a bit about him?
Teaches him all the boys' work, like farming and building.
Neat. And what kind of toys does he have?
He has a nice toy boat and sword that teaches him about sailing and using weapons. But I like my toys more.
Nice. All right, and for our very last interview, we're going to be talking to Gertrude, a funeral director, to tell us about Viking funeral rites. So, Gertrude, why don't you tell us a bit about those?
Well, there were a bunch of different beliefs and different rituals and everything for different types of Vikings. For example, um, the lots of Vikings believed that to send someone dead's soul to the afterlife, you would need to cremate them. Also, for the average Viking, they were buried in a burial mound with a lot of other Vikings. For women and children, they were buried alone in a typically shallow grave. For high-ranked Vikings, they were buried possibly with their boat, lots of possessions, and sometimes even their slaves. Some rituals that were for all Vikings were that there was a ceremony which often had alcohol, food, chants, songs, and people would come and give tributes and gifts that would be burned or buried with the person. Vikings also believed that uh, they believed in many gods, heroes, and beasts, and the stories were passed down orally, so it'll be hard for you to find copies.
That's very interesting. Thanks for giving us all that information.
Well,
All right. Goodbye. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's interviews. This has been John Johnson, signing out.